Hi, I want to do a video here today based on, now it's raining, based on some points that came up, sort of like a destiny I process, vlog update. Things that I realized from investigating myself, from listening to ecraft.com, and writing out, opening up for myself what it is that I find, seeing within myself where these points are at, and changing for what is best for all. Lately there have been some degrees of anxiety bothering me, and it's been quite a, what shall I say, meticulous process to get through those layers. It have been quite rigid and intricate, in complicated patterns within my mind to go through. So however much, one thing I learned recently is that however much we want the good life for all, however much we want change and prosperity and all the good things that exist, or that really don't exist because we are not yet living it ourselves. Meaning, change is coming, yes, inevitably. How we embrace that change is the issue, I would say, because the physical, the matter, our bodies, this earth, and so on, will communicate with us and talk to us in its own language, you might say, in the language of life, in the language of oneness and equality. Fail me not. So, if we want a change in our physical environment, be it money, be it housing, be it whatever dimension or occupation or circumstance we would like a change, we must then first, obviously, be that change ourselves. I mean, we must first do unto others the way we want to be treated ourselves. And also, even more narrowed down, we must treat ourselves the way that we want others to treat us. And to have that sort of psychology out there of realness, genuine appreciation, consideration, care, humbleness, equality, love, respect, oneness. So this is just a reminder that however much we want change, we must first be that change in our own process, in our own living. We must first be that change we want to see out there in the big world, through ourselves, on our own personal, individual level. So the clue and idea is to understand where such specific program is located within self, and to understand the resonance of the body, to understand that forgiveness is the big key here, and that self as physicality is one's own savior, obviously. So to forgive the self and also everybody else is a great key that, one of the very tipping points of this humanity, to forgive ourselves as ourselves and also our neighbor and so on in our past. Because if I hold blame, that is just me being lame, Or if I judge, then I have not walked in those shoes. I have not seen what they have seen. If I judge someone, I have not lived their life. I have not seen what they've been going through. I have not lived what they have lived. And in such a manner, I don't have the integrity at all, and which nobody does, to actually judge another being, because there is no judgment. There is no right and wrong, obviously, because polarity is just a mathematical play, and there is only what is best for all. The old heaven and hell have been, changed, obviously, from what we see today, which is in itself very, very interesting, I find. I mean, how has heaven and earth or hell or whatever changed? What is now the current being and existence of the old heaven? What have happened? All this information and much, much more you can find at the common site of desteni.org. And that is part of why I walk my process, because I find it so incredible, rewarding, and embracing, and just so incredible, full of worth, you might say. That baseline of equality and oneness. And to investigate those words, equality and oneness, what does that mean? To understand where I came from, what I have lived, to understand my programming through my mind, to realize myself and understand that my gravest mistakes can be my greatest gifts that I can learn from. And that in itself is a very cool thing to call upon self. Like in the Bible, they say, the first shall be last and the last shall be first. One's greatest mistakes and emotional burden or whatever have you not are to be one's moments of one's life that one can learn from and mature within and expand and be humble with. So that is something I'm looking at, to develop myself, to have self-growth, to become self-mature. And there's no other greater way than to listen to ecraft.com to realize these things about self. It is the very fundamental opener through one's mind into the physical body, into life, to realize self as physicality, to become responsible with self by forgiving self and by forgiving self and all that self has lived, that have been in a polarity or in such a mathematical, metaphysical equation. So, yeah, I'm busy changing myself still. I have ways to go still, facing my anxiety now and such issues. Pen and paper, very much recommended. Wouldn't be myself without it. Share what you're going through. What are you going through when watching this? Please share with me. Leave a comment or whatever you find that. Could you expand on this point, or could you share more about this matter? Please leave me a comment and ask for me to expand and open up on points where you are maybe stuck, or maybe you need assistance or support. Let me know. So, yeah, this is sort of like a destiny process that I walk. Process vlog where I'm in my process, where I feel that I'm very much in a bloom, and also I also sense that or understand myself that there are constant circles, like new circles of life where I can sort of walk into or engage with, work in, walk into, go into the process of making my road less bumpy, my ocean less stormy, by walking through, you might say, the same path that I've lived before, the same issues, the same programming, the same emotions, and to go over it again and plaster it some more and work on it some more, heal it some more, because now I have a much more safe baseline of physicality, of matter, that I matter to myself, my purpose, my life essence, you might say, of oneness and equality. Having that as a very fundament of where I stand, where I am, how I live, and alter my ways to be that example of a better reality for myself, but also, and most important, for everybody as myself, because in that oneness, another being is just an extension of me. Another human being is just an extension of me, like a flower, like a dog, like a cat, another person is an extension of the self. And that is something to investigate. And I welcome you to check out, my blog and my vlogs and Destiny, and check out the process. Forgiveness is the great key in life. Don't miss it. So be humble with self. Slow down if you need to, and I need to slow down often, and just to level myself into my physical and other projections and so on. So yeah, this is the Destiny process update. I find today that I much more today am the creator of my own process. I'm much more making my own process today than what I was before, because I have that awareness that from listening to Soul, School of Ultimate Living on YouTube. School of Ultimate Living, Soul, where I learned that today I make my own process, sort of abracadabra. I create what I speak, I create what I say, I create my own reality. We are our own creators. We create our own reality. So yeah. Thank you for listening. Enjoy.